What's up, Bills Mafia? Ryan Thomas here on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Last night, the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft in the books. It's done. It's over with. All the anticipation as far as who Buffalo could be picking with the 23rd overall pick, 25th overall pick, I should say, ended pretty quickly when the Buffalo Bills traded up to the 23rd overall selection. The Buffalo Bills selected Kaiir Elam, cornerback out of Florida. This podcast, per usual, will help prepare you guys and help you guys learn who Kaiir Elam is and who Kaiir Elam could be potentially as a member of this Buffalo Bills defense. I'm super pumped up for this pick. I want to start off by saying that, first and foremost, any mock draft that I did, out of the 10 dozen or so mock drafts that I did, Kaiir Elam was somebody that did cross off a few T's and dotted a few I's as far as a player that could be of interest for me, for the Buffalo Bills, and ultimately, seeing this draft come to fruition the way that it did, felt like the cornerback position was a position of need, no doubt about it, given the injury to Trey White during last season. We don't know what version of Trey White we will be getting once Trey White comes back. We do have to anticipate that Trey White should be back to his elite self, but there might be a little bit of a, shall you say, growing period in terms of an adjustment period, getting back into the swing of things as an elite corner in the NFL. Regardless, the Buffalo Bills did lose a key component to their defense this offseason. Levi Wallace, love him, hate him, Bills Mafia, was pretty divided on him as a player, whether he was good or whether he was okay. And I knew that when Levi Wallace was gone, when Levi Wallace went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, that the cornerback position in this year's draft would be a position that the Buffalo Bills would target. And here we are. Kaiir Elam, first-round draft choice. Buffalo moving up from 25th overall to 23rd overall, trading away the 130th overall pick in this year's draft, which amounts to a fourth-round draft choice. Now, I want to pull up some highlights of Kaiir Elam and really just go into the nitty-gritty of who he is as a player and why I really like him as a player for this defense in particular. How do I see him kind of shaping up in this defense with who we have, joining arguably, I say arguably, one of the best secondaries in the NFL. So, Trey White's injury aside, you look at the secondary and you say, Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, those guys, those three players have been so crucial to the last 5 years of success, frankly, since Sean McDermott came on board. I know they didn't make the playoffs that first season, but the pieces, the players in particular, were big reasons as to why those three were big reasons why we had the success that we did. So I want to look at Kaiir Elam and go into his tape as an NFL player. This is Kaiir Elam, his junior year. His junior year was far better than his senior year. I'd be the first to admit that. When looking at the tape, Kaiir Elam's junior season, far better than his senior season. But that's not to say that Kaiir Elam isn't somebody that I zero in on as a top corner in this draft. You see the ability, and this video comes to you from Just Bombs Productions, man-to-man coverage like a blanket on the Vanderbilt wideout here. You see his ability to recognize where the quarterback is going with the football at an elite level, pass breakups, and what jumps out at me in terms of Kaiir Elam's ability is his tackling ability, which we will see on full display in this highlight video, which was very well done. Press corner, press coverage, it's there. You saw on that, he pressed the receiver, forced the quarterback to make a throw. I would say the timing on the route was thrown off by his press coverage on that play, which forced ultimately the interception, and it was an acrobatic interception to say the least. Elam on the inside, Elam on the outside. You're getting just as good a corner on either the inside or the outside of things. Somebody that I see as a player that, no doubt about it, will make his impact early on this team. Rolling to the right, playing center field a little bit, tracking that football in the air, recognizing the inside receiver, going to the outside hash, and is able to disrupt that pass pattern. Anticipation is key with a player like Elam, anticipating that receiver's route, heading toward the sideline, and just simply tracking the ball and being physical. Now, most of the guys that Kaiir Elam lined up against are in the NFL. They're guys that are playing in the NFL. You might see some of them in this highlight. But his anticipation to the ball, his ability to track the ball, is something that I think will bode really well for him in Sean McDermott's defense. And his tackling ability, you saw it right here. This is my favorite portion of this highlight video. On a run play, no, he wasn't going to get blocked. He ran off the block and was able to find the ball carrier and bring him down. Elam here tracking the eyes of the quarterback. No, that was not going to be a complete pass. Tracking the eyes of the quarterback, getting the hand out in front of the receiver. And then here on the opposite side of the field, playing against Georgia, one of the best teams, the national champs, of course. Elam staying with the receiver. That dig step there to springboard off of the route, that wasn't going to be good enough for the Georgia Bulldogs receiver to pull that off. He wasn't going to be able to pull off that somewhat JV move on Kaiir Elam. So I'm very excited for this pick, and I'm very excited for the fact that the Buffalo Bills, I feel, got a real one in Kaiir Elam. I look at the second and third round tonight, and I say to myself, there is a lot of room for improvement based on the players that are still available. So it'll be very interesting to see what Buffalo does in second and third rounds tonight for the 2022 NFL Draft. Kaiir Elam, the first-round draft choice out of Florida for the Buffalo Bills, former Florida Gator, heading to Buffalo. I love it.